Well, hello there, and welcome back to my channel. So, in today's build, I am building another tiny home, and this one is actually a part of a series that I haven't done in quite a while, but this is me recreating a real-life tiny house in The Sims 4. So, if you haven't seen any of these builds that I've done, I will actually link in the iCard the playlist if you want to go check those out. But essentially what I do is I will go on the internet and find a tiny house that, intrigues me, that I think looks really, really cool. And I will attempt to recreate it to the most accurate way possible in The Sims 4, as much as I can at least. And just a disclaimer, recreating real life things in The Sims is pretty difficult because it's just the proportions aren't going to be the same, and the way that real life building is a little bit more complex than just The Sims 4, but I made it work. This home does have a lofted bedroom up in the roof area, and that's not exactly possible in The Sims 4. You can build a room in a roof piece, but it's not obviously not going to work in this case. So I did add a second floor and made that the quote-unquote loft, because it just made sense to me. So I will say this house is pretty much I would say an 85% accurate home when it comes to recreating it in The Sims, if that makes sense. But I had a lot of fun building this. I do change these windows and this door. The house itself actually has red accented windows, but they're not it's not solid red, and I couldn't really find anything, but I do eventually switch over to these cottage living windows, and I actually make them white in the end. It just wasn't looking right because it was just really dark, and when you go on the inside of the house, in the actual real life house, the inside of the windows are painted white, but we really don't have that option, at least in this case. There are some windows that came with the base game that are red on the outside, and I think they might be white on the inside. I actually, I could be wrong there, but I really just wanted the idea to be there, but I would rather it look more accurate on the inside than on the outside in this case, but it still looked really good in the end. It was a really interesting house though, because since it's a real tiny home, they obviously didn't have their own landscaping, so they just had some potted plants out in the front of the porch, and I did take some creative liberties here with the front because I did want there to be a path leading up to the sidewalk. It just makes sense to me. And so I did place the fire pit just a little bit over to the side because the fire pit was actually placed directly in front of the stairs. And I was like, I want to make it a little bit more sensible for The Sims. So, but I did have a lot of fun putting a lot of plants here in on this little porch here. It was, I don't know, just really, really fun doing little details like that. I feel like in tiny homes, smaller spaces are a lot easier to fill up, and it's just a lot more fun, and you can put a lot more detail and effort without it exhausting you. But I will be sure to leave a link in the description down below to the tiny house that I was actually looking at for this. It had full interior pictures and everything, so I obviously didn't recreate it exactly because once again it's a video game, but I do think it looks pretty accurate, I would say. And I'm actually a really big fan of how the interior came out. It looks really, really nice. It's honestly something that I probably wouldn't have done on my own, which is the most important part of this little series, because this really is helping me kind of get outside of the box when it comes to my own building style. I have a really hard time just doing the same things over and over because I get comfortable, but then I get bored. So it's like a double-edged sword. And I really like this rug. This specific rug, I feel like I have used it, but not a ton. And I haven't used it in the swatch especially. So I don't know. It just kind of pushed me to use use that. And I really, really love how it accents that front door, and it really works well with the little love seat there. That's actually from Dream Home Decorator. It's part of the sectional sofa set, but I just made a little like minimal looking love seat because that's actually what is in the real life home. I'm pretty sure it's probably like a futon or something like that, but it honestly looks really nice here. It's a nice bit of contrast too. But I will say really quickly, I did use a little bit of custom content. It's nothing significant whatsoever. It's just a few plants. I was just really wanting to use these plants from a winged llama. They actually have some plants that are like an add-on set to Eco Lifestyle, and you can see them there in my little, or not Eco Lifestyle, Blooming Rooms kit. But yeah, you can see them there in the catalog, but there's literally like, I would probably say like 3 or 4 plants. Like it doesn't affect the build whatsoever. Like if you download this without the CC, it won't affect it at all. You probably won't even notice, let's be real. But this is where I kind of had to make a creative suggestion or liberty, take a creative liberty. That's what I meant to say. And I built a little upstairs, like loft 2nd floor. So, you know, from the outside, it doesn't look exact, but it's close enough. In the actual tiny home, it's one of those instances where the loft bedroom space is, there's actually a little bit more of a wall built up. I can't really describe it. Just check out the picture in the link down below if you want to know. But essentially, it's something that I can't really do in The Sims 4. Accurately. So I went with this and it worked really well, I think. And like this little part here looks pretty accurate to the pictures of the interior of the home too. So I think it worked either way. There's a little 2x1 bathroom. It's fully functional. It's just a toilet and a shower because the sink is literally right there. And people are going to be like, ew, that's the kitchen sink. Who cares? It's a sink. Like as long as you're not, I don't know, if you're washing your hands, what's weird about it? I don't know. I remember back in the day, whenever I built tiny homes, I would do that all the time where I would just not put a sink in the bathroom, and people would be like, well, ew, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, girl, it's a tiny home. That's just how it's gonna work. Like tiny homes, a lot of the times in real life, they might have a tiny little sink in their bathroom, but some of them don't even have that. So, you know, as long as you got a sink, that's all that matters. But yeah, it's coming together pretty quickly, honestly. I'm a really big fan of the style in here. It's pretty modern and contemporary, but it's still quite rustic at the same time. It's like a nice balance between the two, and it's not in a just like a meh kind of way. It's nice. It's simple. It's minimal. It's not overly cluttered. The only cluttered portion is that little shelf above the doorway, and I absolutely love that shelf there. I love it so much. I love the little things that I put on it. I found some those little like containers, those like metal containers from the country kitchen kit. I love those so much. And upstairs, here I am attempting to fit in a bed, and it does fit in the end. I do make the room a little bit smaller, but unfortunately this home comes to be at exactly 33 tiles, which I found to be insulting because I was like, wait, 32 tiles is the limit for a micro home. So and there was literally no way I could like get rid of one tile and it makes sense. So I was like, dang, it's just barely a tiny home. It was almost a micro home, but you're still gonna get a lot of benefits if your sim lives here. And to be honest, I don't think I would personally enjoy playing in this house with a sim. Yeah, I know, right? Listen, I love tiny homes, but let me tell you, it's just, at least in this case, when it's like this, I'm not a fan of like gameplay wise. Also, I am so sorry if I'm stuttering a lot today. I don't know what's with me. I don't know. It's just one of those days where I'm just like, you know. Today's my Friday, essentially, when it comes to my day job. So I guess I'm just excited for this day to be over, and to be home and to be relaxing. I have actually 3 days off, which I'm very, very excited for, but it will be, it's a trade-off because I have longer shifts this later this week. So, but regardless, I'm excited. I'm just gonna have some good times building and playing The Sims, and just, I don't know, maybe I'll play some Cyberpunk. I actually, speaking of Cyberpunk, there is this game that came out that's called Stray, and I definitely need to play it. It's basically like an exploration game, and you play as a cat, and you get to explore this like cyberpunk city, I think. I really want to get it and play it this weekend. Weekend, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm just placing a little bit more landscaping. I didn't want to go too intense on the landscaping, simply because it's like a tiny house lot. So like, in my head, I'm like, this is where they just move tiny homes in once in a while. So, there's not really much of a point in it being like a ton of landscaping around where the house would be, because it's just going to be moved, at least in my head. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did enjoy it, do let me know. And in the comments down below, how about you let me know sweet tea if you got to this part of the video. But anyways, I love y'all. Take care of yourselves. And that's everything. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay weird. And I will speak to you all next time. Bye, guys. Bye, y'all. Why did I say bye, guys? Anyway, bye, y'all.